Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. First off, let's start talking about the claims. I don't want to see SoFi Princess Tanner, Timeline Tanner, Lori Tanner, whatever. The bullying has to stop immediately. Governor Lori, what's going on here? All right. Aside from that, hopefully all you guys are doing well. We've got a packed show. So we are going to be talking about crypto, Ethereum, BMNR. It's actually the only thing that I ended up picking up shares today in was BMNR. I don't remember my average, but I'm pretty sure it's in the $48 range. Let me double check for you guys real quick. Ended up doing that. What else? So we're going to talk about that. SoFi, lots of SoFi, some Robinhood, and that will be a good show. My dog's immediately trying to leave the room. Give me 1 second right now. I'll get you out. Okay, let's just get this average because I thought it was a pretty good average. I actually lowered my cost base. My cost basis was in the $50 marks. Yeah, my purchase was $48.49. You like that? Sorry for the insults, princess. All right. Cold open, no greeting. Forest Hill. This greeting's just for you, brother. Thank you for being here. Really happy that you guys are here to watch the show live. And immediately, I'm going to have to cancel the show to let my dog out. Give me 1 second. Okay, come on. Go on. Okay. That was quick and simple. All right, let's jump in to the show. So if you guys don't know, I uploaded a video today talking about Lending Club. They ended up showing off a smashing earnings, okay? Stock was up a bunch. I don't know where we closed out at, but at the time that I last saw it, it was up like 11 point something percent. So it ended the day up 10.5%. Obviously, from being a small-time lender, that's a pretty good move on earnings day. Quite the surprise on EPS. I think it was it beat on EPS by 23% or so. Revenue beat by 3%, nearly 4%. SoFi, I think, is going to have another triple beat, especially off of Wall Street's expectations that are much lower. I'm sure Lending Club will adjust some of those expectations. We're already seeing it in SoFi's stock price, up 3.3%. This is on Lending Club. I mean, honestly, like people are getting very excited. Seeing those types of competitors, their biggest product is personal loans, consolidating credit card debt. They also have a deposit product. They also have a debt consolidation product. They have many of the same features that SoFi does, except SoFi does it much better. Okay. They are not equivalent. Okay. Next, we ended up getting a report from Payments, which is one of it's actually PYMNTS. Payments ended up putting out a report talking about their favorite digital banks across the industry. Now, SoFi has actually been at the top of the ranks for some time now, but they continue to hold that score. Discover is number 2, Dave number 3, Chime number 4. Okay. Which I wish it was like SoFi and Chime. That would look really good for my portfolio. But hey, we will maybe get there one day. Okay. And then probably some of the bigger news today. Data-driven investing, one of the creators, good friend of the channel. We all love Chris. Go support him on Substack. Go follow him. He ended up writing his review for Q3. Okay. So now we officially have I don't think we have Roy's actually. Most of the large creators that end up covering SoFi ended up putting in their results. And boy, oh boy, did I sway data-driven investing a little bit. He told me before I put out my report, his predictions for new members was 940,000. But he said No, I mean, the sensor tower data is absolutely real. In fact, he actually put me in here. A little shout out to Future Investing for the website traffic and the downloads. Appreciate that, Chris. But then that actually ended up leading him to believe that new members is going to be over 1 million. Let's hope he's right. I mean, I hope he wins this bet. Okay. 990,000 net new members with 20,000 churning off the platform. That's in line with every other quarter. Yeah. Personal loan originations, he actually has higher than me. I think I'm at 7.5 billion. He's at 7.6 billion. Student loans, he's much higher than me. And home loans, he's just slightly lower than me. I think this is going to be reversed. I think student loans is not going to be too high, and home loans is going to be huge this quarter. We'll see. Lending revenue, he believes, is going to be very strong. I think a lot of where we're going to see lending growth is going to be on financial services. However, we came in very similarly on the adjusted net income base. So that's quite exciting. Tech platform, we were, I think, spot on together. And the net income, he believes EPS of 11 cents. Honestly, I could absolutely see that, especially if I'm thinking that they are going to be putting a lot more into sales and marketing and actually potentially hurt margin a little bit to accelerate that growth rate, really punch through on new members. That EPS might not be as high as I suspect. So that's absolutely great. Okay. Every single member, the sort of, if you want to call retail analysts or whatever, is now, I think, at 950,000 new members or higher. Imagine if it comes under that. That's going to suck. But it's not actually going to be bad. I mean, that would still be the highest quarter we've ever seen. It's just maybe expectations have been brought up so much recently. We can only go off the amount of data that we get each day. Here we go. Look forward to this stream every day, says one crazy cookie on Twitch. Thanks for being there, brother. Okay. Man, I'm catching up. Czar Tanner was getting feisty in the beginning. Oh, dude, I was in a Mitts chat and everyone was calling me Princess Tanner or whatever. Amit publicly flogging me. And then right after the stream called me to say some nice things. But yeah, anyway, it's just funny. It's just funny. Cinda Tanner, come on now, Paul. I saw you in a Mitts chat egging on, and then I got to see you over here as a member just talking crap. What happened to the money raised from the share issue after Q2? It's included in our share counts. Okay. So what happened to the money? Not sure. We don't really know. SoFi came out and said, hey, we have a mix of either accelerating growth, putting this towards hiring new people, or acquiring a business. That's all of the opportunities. They essentially open themselves up to all of them. So we're not 100% sure, but our EPS targets are adjusted for the new share count. In fact, I was actually I stayed extremely conservative. I said that they were going to add a ton more shares than what they actually diluted for. So I was being extra cautious. Yeah. Real love-hate relationship. Yeah. It is chat and me have an abusive relationship. It's very good sometimes. No, honestly, guys, I absolutely love it. Yeah. You get made fun of by the people that you love. Or maybe the vice versa. Do you think they'll mention what they plan on doing with the money? Most definitely. Or most likely. I would put it at like a 90% chance. There's been a couple times where I thought that they would talk about certain events that had ended up happening. They didn't. But I don't know. They diluted something like 7 or 8% of their total outstanding shares. How do you do an earnings call without talking about it? So I think that they'll need to get into that. Chris tweeted SoFi to request business banking. Wouldn't be the first tweet. There's been a lot of business banking tweets, so I don't think that pushes any needle. But after we knock out L1, or level one options, which we need to talk about that for a second. TJ the Wheel Deal, who is a very large options seller on YouTube and everything. He's used Tasty Trade. He's used Robinhood. He's a big fan of SoFi stock. I think that's actually how I met him, was through SoFi stock, like my due diligence and stuff on the channel. But he ended up tweeting, "All right, guys, it's so freaking easy to sell calls and puts on SoFi Invest. Love how it tells you how much the stock has to move in order to hit your strike as well. Well done, SoFi. Well done. I'm one of the largest option sellers on social media, and I approve this message." But he really does, or he really is. Like, I think he stopped using Robinhood because he passed the options contract limit of 250,000 contracts on a stock. So, yeah, he's got a very fat portfolio, and I think he ended up using Tasty Trade a lot because it's more focused towards option sellers. Nothing wrong with that. They definitely do have a compelling product. I don't think that option sellers are going to start moving over to SoFi, but having a very easy to use, easy to understand product is insanely powerful. And that's exactly what SoFi tries to do. So if they had to wait in order to get this product perfect, TJ saying it's the real deal. So yeah, that's powerful. But hood tokenization will eat everything. Well, I don't think it's hood tokenization. I think SoFi is going to be a part of the tokenization of financial services as well. And I do think things will be tokenized. I just think SoFi is going to be a part of that as well. Let's not forget, SoFi has, a business out, or a subsidiary out in Hong Kong. They ended up getting the licenses for UAE, I think for Singapore, for there was a few of them. They didn't end up going into them fully because that was around 2021, 22. And then that's when rate hikes started to come in and SoFi had to tighten their belt, and they sort of stopped those growth efforts. Now that we're going into an environment of, potentially rate cuts and, cheaper costs and growth at all costs, these types of events that SoFi, we are seeing from member growth just in the United States, are they going to expand back into UAE, Singapore? If I'm not mistaken, the SoFi.ca, which is the Canadian thing. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, maybe they got rid of it. They did have it at one point. Maybe they got rid of it. So I do hope that they expand internationally as well. SoFi is just a bank stock? Yeah. Yep, that's what I've been talking about. We've been on here for years just talking about it being a bank. No, but there is bank aspects. So it's important to listen to some of the concerns, because it's one of the ways that things can go wrong with SoFi. If they do mess up their underwriting and credit starts to turn poor, it'll feel very much like a bank because they'll get dragged down with the rest of the credit lenders. That's very important to understand. But whenever you see a lending club come out and say, hey, credit's doing much better than we thought, the loan demand from insurance companies and from banks is accelerating like crazy. And this is why I love competitors for companies, because you get to see the different ways that they look at their business. So, for example, Marqeta is a really good way to compare against Galileo for SoFi. Marqeta is another stock, ticker symbol MQ. They're a great comparison for Galileo. They offer card programs. They've got huge names like Cash App and Block and Lyft and Uber. They're doing very well. And the different ways that they look at their business is different from Galileo. We get to see purchase volume, take rate, all of these things. On the lending side, Lending Club is a great way to do this because they are fully digital bank that is, has deposit accounts. Personal loans is their bread and butter. So what they see is very similar to what SoFi sees. Also on the upper bound of the credit limit. Now, even then, Lending Club has average FICOs of about 700 plus and average incomes of about 100K plus. SoFi's is about 160,000 of average income and FICO's above 740. And that's a big difference. Okay. SoFi says that they can write credit above or FICO's above 680, but they really don't. And in fact, if you want to get really into the nitty gritties, the way that they offer you loans, I know a lot of people on here, you might see comments from time to time saying, hey, I've got an 800 credit score and I make 200 grand a year, but SoFi won't give me a loan. You know, it's because they actually underwrite off of cash flow. So they look at, because they have this data through Relay, they have this data through your own deposits. What are your monthly expenses? What are you saving each month? Like, are you even going to have cash to pay us back? Forget about your, 200K. But if you have a expensive truck bill and mortgage, and you're paying out the wazoo for all these, discretionary expenses, your personal loan payments are probably not going to be a priority. So they did not want that. So they underwrite via cash flow. Okay. Has anyone ever told you look like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys? Constantly. Yeah. I probably got a DM today saying that. Thank you. Tanner, can you bust out the leather jacket for the earnings stream? Maybe. I can guarantee you I'll have it for the Nvidia earnings stream. Everyone, I'll be Tanner Huang that day, and it will be very exciting. That day will be good. I hope. I mean, I could not. Maybe this is the way everyone positions their portfolio. I mean, this is an obvious statement, but I feel extremely well positioned right now in Nvidia, in SoFi, in Google and Amazon. I feel well positioned in BM&R. Like, obviously, everyone is hopefully positioning themselves for the future, but I feel very confident. There's been some times going into SoFi earnings where I'm like crossing my fingers, especially during 2022, where everyone around them was not doing good, and we were hoping that SoFi would be the standout name. That's not what's happening. SoFi has always been the standout name, but everyone around them is doing well. It would be unbelievable to see something where they end up, not being the name that does well this time around. Okay. Pinch just gave away another sub on Twitch. Yeah, you know what sucks is I can't see the Prime subs on Twitch, unfortunately. The Twitch Prime subs or whatever, which sucks. Okay. Green bar for Chime? Yeah, let's hope. We got a long ways to go before I actually feel confident that I have a margin of safety on this name. We've seen a couple days where they've been down 10%, down 7%. I don't necessarily feel calm, with this company at $18 or something like this. But let's see. What are we at right now? 18. Yeah, that's not the most exciting price range that I want it to be at. I'd like to see it, $22, $23. I'll start to calm down. We already are in the green. I was buying in the 17 plus ranges. I mean, that's when we did the video, but yeah. Okay. Let's continue on here. Okay. Quickly to talk about crypto, because we ended up seeing a couple different things. Let me just bring this here, because from all the way from Trump to things that are happening in the EU and around the world, people are buying Ethereum. Okay. First up, there was this Francis Zhao here that ended up putting this out. I'm proud to announce that we are accumulating 2,365 ETH in just the last 7 days, officially making Quantum Solutions the largest ETH DAT outside of the United States. More ETH coming. Thanks for the support, Kathy Wood and Ark Invest. All right. Lots of ETH accumulating. The interesting thing is that there's no competition. If everyone is buying up ETH, that helps every single purchaser, every single digital asset treasury go even higher. Okay. It'd be like a stock where everyone's buying the same company or something like this. That would be absolutely great. Then another way that we're going to see higher ETH prices is more crypto participation. If there's more investors, gotta love that. Revolut, one of the largest fintechs in the world, especially in Europe, secures a MiCA license and now preparing to launch crypto services across Europe for their millions of users. That's going to compete directly with Robinhood, but that's going to bring a lot of customers potentially on board for crypto. That could change the way, we end up seeing more traffic on Ethereum, more purchasers, all of these things. Another quick Ethereum update was from Jesse here, who's the lead for Base at Ethereum. For the lead for Base, the L2 of Ethereum, where they talk about the top blockchains by builder interest. Okay. Ethereum, number one. Number two is an L2, like a layer 2, meaning it's built on Ethereum, was the number 2 slot. Number 3 was Solana. Okay. This is no hate on Solana. I actually hold Solana in my own wallet, but Ethereum still being extremely strong. And I think one way to play not only Ethereum's rise, but Base's rise in general is Coinbase. Coinbase is so sneaky. It's not even sneaky, but I think people play down those types of effects. How big of a deal Base is for Coinbase, and then how big of a deal, what's it called? Like owning Circle, co-founding Circle, and getting a large percentage of the overall stablecoin volume that ends up going through for Circle is on Coinbase. Also, Base, this is gonna be a little confusing. Base is wanting to create their own network token. Okay. So Coinbase is going to be creating a token for Base, and they might call it Basecoin. I'll let you stir on that for a second. Little too confusing for my brain. Next, and this, I don't know if this is a good thing, if this is bad, but it's happening. Trump ended up pardoning CZ. Okay? The actual founder of Binance, the largest platform for crypto, he's essentially worth, last time I saw, $88 billion. CZ is. And Trump just pardoned him. He had gotten in some trouble. I don't know about that case as well as I do from, the Sam Bankman-Fried type things. Sam Bankman-Fried's still behind bars. I'm going to question if they let that dude out. I mean, it's seeming like a lot of crypto guys. I hope Sam Bankman-Fried stays behind bars. But CZ, I don't know too much about what actually happened. Maybe you guys do in chat. Maybe I could just quickly, let's just see if we can figure it out. What did CZ do to... Okay, let's take a look. U.S. authorities found that Binance failed to maintain an effective anti-money laundering program as required by Bank Scrutiny Act. Essentially, Binance allowed users to trade without proper KYC. They also permitted users in sanctioned countries like Iran to trade on the exchange. The U.S. Department of Justice determined that CZ and Binance knowingly violated these laws to grow faster. I mean, honestly, dude, that's crazy. He went to jail for that. There's every bank is known to make up fake accounts, grow, let him out. Honestly, Binance should have agreed to pay huge fines accordingly, or supposedly they did. CZ personally paid $50 million and stepped down as CEO, and Binance agreed to pay over $4.3 billion in fines. If these are the future, or if these are the future financial companies, treat them like banks. If you're going to slap them all with, extremely large fines, do that. Hurt the businesses. or have the same sort of repercussions for the CEOs of large banks like Wells Fargo that was making up fake accounts so then they could get larger commissions and bonuses on their, earnings calls. How's that any different? It was only 4 months. You're right. It was only 4 months. But I do think that there was some crypto targeting. Now, I do not think that's the case. By the way, there was a lot of talk about CZ being the person who brought down Sam Bankman-Fried. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but the token, I don't remember the FTX token. What was that called? The actual token. Anyway, Binance was the biggest holder, I think, aside from FTX, of this token. They ended up selling out and liquidating, taking big losses on it, but it actually sort of exposed FTX because they didn't have the liquidity for it. So they had to close out on a bunch of insane trades that they had, and it actually exposed them. CZ was the original guy that brought it all down, if I'm not mistaken. What was the name of FTX's token? What does Polymarket? Yeah, that's a good question. What does Polymarket say? SBF pardon. That would be really interesting. Sam Bankman-Fried is at a less than 1% chance. Oh, sorry. No. This is for the first 100 days. I'm not sure. Here, give me one quick second. I keep sniffling. Let me blow my nose because I'm sure a bunch of you guys. FTT, that's what it was. It was FTT. Let me blow my nose really quick. Okay. That's not going to fix the cocaine allegations, right? Me always just touching the stash. Polymarket is life. It's definitely super cool. It's a lot of fun. It definitely is. Tanner doing blow. I got to that joke before you did. I don't want to hear it. All right. Let's continue on. You guys can joke. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Let's continue. Yeah, I think CZ being pardoned is fine. Just keep Sam Bankman-Fried behind bars. That guy is an actual criminal. And no matter how many ways that he tried to spin it, he almost spun his way out of it. But no, a lot of people kept on to him. And that's the good thing about blockchain to some degree is like everything was on chain. And so you could expose every transaction. You could follow the ledger to see what was happening. Let's quickly turn to a different name, however. Amazon unveils new AI-powered Amelia smart glasses for delivery drivers, featuring built-in cameras and heads-up displays for navigation, package scanning, and proof of delivery photos, all hands-free. The glasses aim to save up to 30 minutes per route. Some of these things, package scanning and heads-up display, that might be a while, but proof of delivery photos, that could be done immediately. I mean, we have the technology for that. The other two, well, maybe package scanning, but heads-up display for navigation, I'm skeptic of just yet. We'll see. That's a little too futuristic for me. We're probably a good year out from that. I mean, obviously, I know what Meta's doing, but it's also extremely expensive. Okay. What's your bathroom pet peeve, bro? Amit talked about it today. My pet peeve is that I just don't like to share bathrooms with other adults. You know, like not in this, and not at the same time. It's just like if I'm gonna go use the bathroom. This was a talk about us getting an Airbnb, and they picked the one that had like 3 bathrooms. I was like, there's 5 adults going to this Airbnb. Why don't we pick the one with 5 bathrooms? You guys don't shower where I'm showering. I want to use the bathroom. No one come in. You know, just let me have my own bathroom. Tanner, go pee now. The power you guys have over me is insane. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Tanner, do you cover your toothbrush? I should. And you know what? It's actually, I've never thought about that till now. That's absolutely disgusting. And I can't believe I do not cover my toothbrush from the whatever you just said. I like to poop alone. I mean, that's key. Okay. Did you guys hear about this mafia-linked NBA gambling scandal? How crazy is this? Among a dozen plus riggers where coaches and a player are also end up being arrested. Just crazy. Nvidia is working now with Uber's data to advance autonomous vehicle deployment, and the two are using Uber's large real-time driving data to post-train NVIDIA's Cosmos World Foundation models, improving simulation accuracy, safety, performance, and complex real-world conditions. It's not just a data center play per se for AI LLMs. That's contradictory. But I meant to say chatbots and LLMs that way. There's going to be multiple S-curves for what NVIDIA and different companies are going to work on. And especially for NVIDIA, we are going to have a huge boom for self-driving, for humanoid robotics, for agentic artificial intelligence, and then a physical artificial intelligence falls under FSD and humanoid robotics, but it's also going to play into many other things as well. I think that everyone talks about humanoids as being the only type of robot. I actually don't know how true that's going to be. I think that Amazon has proven that like specialized robotics is going to be as big. Probably as big. I was going to say bigger, but maybe that's not true. I don't know which one will be bigger per se. Definitely in a commercial space, specialized robotics will be very important. Like those Roomba type products that Amazon has to lift pallets and bring them over. Yeah. Chinese cars offer FSD for free. It's another reason why I sold Tesla in the first place. I do think that it's going to be a commodity eventually. Obviously, in North America, Tesla has a massive advantage. But the pricing of these products has to fall over time. I don't know if it'll be free, just because the amount of token generation constantly, like there will be a cost to run those, and the cost won't be the users. So a company is not going to pay someone to have full self-driving, especially if it's connected to a data center and running models constantly. That will not be covered by the company if someone ends up driving that vehicle for a decade. There will be a cost to that. It's just, what is the cost? That I think will be compressed. Or do they just run models right on, like, will they get smart enough where the chips that are on board, they'll just run themselves and they won't have to connect? Will they be locally ran? Maybe. And then the cost is your own cost because you're charging the batteries and you're still paying the energy bill. So yeah, maybe it's that way. But I think for now, just the complex task of full self-driving will still need data centers and connecting outbound. ChatGPT says Nvidia will be worst case $900 per share in 5 years. I wouldn't base your investment strategies too much on ChatGPT, but who knows? Who knows? I definitely am bullish. I don't know if I'm $900 per share bullish by 5 years. What does that make the market cap? What does that make the market cap? Where are we today? 182.16 at a $4.4 billion market cap. Jeez. We're just trucking. I still own Tesla. I own a Model Y, and it's superior to any other car that I've ever owned. Tesla is also a car you buy and never fall out of love with. It's an amazing product. I completely agree with that statement. I've never questioned the product of Tesla. Well, the only product that I have questioned was the Cybertruck, and not even whenever it came out. I liked it whenever it came out. I didn't like what the political sort of, there was a campaign to destroy the look of that car. And whoever did that, or whoever put the final nail to say, hey, this Cybertruck is, a sort of a call of fascists. And I'm not saying that that's the truth. I'm saying that a lot of people might avoid that vehicle because of that, let's call it a subconscious thought. I could be wrong, but I definitely like Tesla. I've had my Model 3 Performance 4 years, and I agree 100%. Yeah, I believe it's like upgrading to a smartphone from a standard phone before. Like, I mean, your car can have an LLM on it, and you can play games on it whenever it's parked. Can't get a Cybertruck in the EU. That stuff the Cybertruck didn't look good, and I love Tesla. It's not that I've never been like a super looks guy. Like, I've never owned an iPhone because people around me thought that was the fashionable phone to own. I own, well, right now I actually own a Samsung, but I'm actually pissed about it. The phone I really want is the Pixel. And the reason why I want that is I always like having the smartest products. I like stuff that it's actually going to be useful for me, And I think Tesla is by far the smartest vehicle you can buy. I think that's a fair statement. At least of any scale. Do you ever buy a small cap because you think it's a disruptor? Not enough. Vikings or Chargers? Oh, bro. Last time you didn't even tell me who the Knicks was facing, so I didn't know. I immediately want to say Chargers. You're welcome. But I also couldn't name you a single player on either one of those teams, and that's not a joke at all. Like, I wouldn't even know one. Should we anticipate a drop before earnings on SoFi? I would not think so. I wouldn't know why it would happen. What sport is it? It's football. That I know. Should we anticipate a drop before earnings on SoFi? I would not expect so. In fact, I'm actually so surprised that things like Polymarket are still placing that the chance that they end up beating. Let's check what this is. Let's go. The chance that SoFi beats on earnings is 85% right now. To me, that blows my mind. There's a 15% chance, 16% chance now that they don't beat on earnings. Have you lost your mind? If Polymarket was available to me, and this is not for you guys, I'm just saying personally, I would bet on that. But also, if you do lose, somehow they put all their money into growing revenue and they miss on EPS somehow, then, say goodbye to that 85, like you lose all of it. So maybe it's not worth the risk. However, someone did say S&P 500 inclusion. Kosak, I think that the interesting part about the price target that I put on, people think that I'm just constantly raising my price target or whatever. One, we constantly are seeing quarters that are accelerating growth rates. This is, and I'm putting an exaggerated example. I'm not saying this is Palantir, but Palantir at the low was growing at 13% year over year. And then I think that was like Q1 of 2022 or Q3 of 2022. And then since then, they had accelerated and their earnings had grew as a percentage of year over year growth faster and faster every quarter. Okay, let me bring up that just to show really quick. So let's take a look at Palantir really quick. We'll look at total revenue and then percent change. Yeah, so 12.75%. I was wrong on the timeline there, June 2023. And then every quarter, this is year over year growth. okay, going all the way up to 48%. If that happens, investors, like, where do you think the growth is going to stop? We're not even talking about revenue growth. We're talking about the percentage of growth, okay? Meaning that it's getting faster and faster. That is the most bullish thing that a company can do, bar none. There's no exception, okay? Especially for them as they continue to, keep high margins. That is insane. That's why the stock is one of the most expensive names in the stock market. So, yeah, that is good. The thing that I would tie to that is SoFi is doing a small but very similar reaction in their company, where they are accelerating growth rates at the highest margins that they've ever seen. We're not doing like we never bottomed out at 12%. Now we're about to do 48%, but we're going to do something around the lines of high 30 percentages here, nearly 40% year over year growth on a good quarter, by the way, on a quarter that grew 30%. So if something grows last year at 30%, now we're growing at nearly 40% this year. That's accelerated growth rates at expanding margins. That's insane. That is so hard to replicate. It won't always be like that, especially for a name like SoFi. But for now, the fact that they have reaccelerated growth while we've seen tailwinds for the business, I mean, I have to expand my price target. That's why I think a lot of analysts will have to as well. And I still don't think they're doing that very accurately. So then eventually we will end up seeing S&P 500 inclusion because they are growing so unbelievably fast. And at that point, like, we're getting a bump from forced passive investors buying into SoFi stock. We're seeing, Technisys fully integrated. So new product developments are happening at the fastest speeds now, at the highest margin, right? And they're bringing on new users that hopefully attract to more and more products. It is a snowball of a business. And this is the thing about compounding growth. I'm not looking to sell this business. I'm not looking to buy at the lowest point and sell at the highest. Like there's no need to time any of this. The amount of new members that SoFi ends up bringing on is just higher and higher every single quarter, right? And so where are we going to be 3 years from now? Still growing, having business banking, and Galileo is into many new features, and they're into crypto and tokenized lending and probably a bunch of products I can't even think of right now. Will I ever even need to worry about the fluctuations of the price today? It's not going to mean anything. And the chart, whenever we zoom out over the 3 years, it'll look like this, just straight. I'm not suggesting it continues to go higher, but as a bullish investor, someone who follows this company constantly, that is what I believe. I'm so scared about any of these guaranteed returns because the YouTube freaking pulled my video. Just so anyone that's watching this right now that hadn't seen the news from the other day, my video got pulled down for 10 minutes. I think it was closer to 15. Because they said that I was guaranteeing returns. I appealed the claim and they said, yeah, you're right. Sorry. It was an automated thing from flagging on your video. So feeling a little cautious here about what I say, but I can only speak for what I'm doing. And yeah. Okay. The selection committee for the S&P 500, I think, will love SoFi. I think they've really liked financial names for sure. The NASDAQ does not. The NASDAQ 100 composite does not have financials in the segment, last time I checked. Put a disclaimer in the description. I have some form of a disclaimer saying that, I'm just I'm just a boy. This is just my opinion. Do you have a disclaimer in the open? No. And I don't want to have one because I don't think people like that. And I'm not here to just, destroy my YouTube videos by starting the first 30 seconds going, hey, by the way, guys, all of this is like, are we adults or are we adults? Like, don't go to YouTube if you're looking for serious financial. Go talk to a financial advisor if you don't want to take on any risk or something like this. Clearly, what I'm talking about are growth companies. These stocks can go down, So yeah. Sorry if this is a noob question, but is it better to be in the NASDAQ or the S&P for SoFi then? Well, the S&P is... Okay, so the S&P 500 tracks 500 of what they believe is the highest quality American names. Okay. The S&P has trillions and trillions of dollars tracking it. The NASDAQ 100, you don't have to pick. They can both, like names like Tesla, for example, are in both. Okay. Apple, like all those big names, but there's only 100 that go into the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is quickly growing in terms of the assets under management that, well, the NASDAQ, they're an index, but the triple Qs, for example, the actual funds that manage money that you can actually buy into, they are growing at very quick rates. Because the performance of focusing less on, every segment, trying to get a wide variety, a wide basket of companies, it's actually much better to just focus on the things that are working. And that's what NASDAQ tries to do. So the concentration of tech, I think in the NASDAQ, something like 55 or 60%. In the S&P, it's been growing a ton. I remember like whenever I started, I think it was like less than 10%. Now I think it's closer to 30%. I'm really guessing. I could be off a lot. So my apologies. I haven't looked at it in a while. But I know that it's been growing. That's a fact. So what would give SoFi the bigger benefit? The S&P 500. Eventually, it would be nice to get into the NASDAQ. But like I said, there's no financials in the NASDAQ. Not even like, semi-financials. Yeah, PayPal's the one that they bring up. Like, are there some financial technology names that are on there? Yeah, maybe SoFi falls into that. Maybe the bank charter hurts with these types of things. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure PayPal might be in the NASDAQ 100. They could be. But the NASDAQ does not do financials. Okay. Let's see what other questions. When is BMNR going to get some love? That's a harder question to answer here. I never knew whenever SoFi was going to get any love. Like, I'm not a timer on these types of investments. And that's why I'm not buying options either. But I do think that there will be love for the company. And I think that it's going to happen this year. Crypto tends to do well in Q4. It's not a guarantee, but tends to do well. That's my hope, is that Q4 will be a big point. But then you have people like Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, coming out and making videos like this. Here, let's have a listen, because this, I think, is going to be the biggest catalyst for crypto and BMNR in general.
Hey everyone, Brian Armstrong here. I'm back in DC, and even though the government is shut down, the Senate is working hard on getting market structure legislation passed for crypto, which is great to see. I attended some meetings this morning with both the Senate Dems, the Senate Republicans, and I'd say they're 90% on the same page. There's draft text being shared back and forth between both parties. Both sides want to get this done. That last 10%, there's a couple remaining issues open, like, for instance, DeFi. We want to make sure that we're pushing to protect DeFi and all the innovation potential that can have, and that the centralized intermediaries in crypto, like Coinbase, should be regulated, not the protocols. And then, of course, we're making sure to preserve stablecoin rewards for you as well. The big banks are coming for their cash grab, trying to block that, even though it was just recently decided in the Genius Act, which just recently became law. We're not going to let them relitigate that. So with these last few issues getting wrapped up, we're hoping to see this bill come out of committee by Thanksgiving. That would be a great outcome. Fingers crossed. We're going to keep showing up for your rights, and we'll keep you updated. Thanks.
I mean, come on now. Come on. That was not the same video as last time. That was a brand new one. He's there constantly. This is essentially what's going to, potentially double his business. So instead of working in the office every day, he's working in Washington right now, because that's a much bigger deal. That's what's going to push the needle. And BMNR and Ethereum and all of the other, tokens and names that are associated with crypto, they're going to benefit from this type of work that Brian's doing. So overall, I'm very bullish. That looks like it's going to close out this year. It's a bipartisan issue. I don't really see a lot standing in the way. That's very exciting for me. The last time we ended up seeing a big move like the Genius Act, for example, stablecoin adoption skyrocketed. Do you think that that's going to happen for the layer one protocols as well? Will companies feel much safer building on Ethereum and purchasing it and putting it on their balance sheet and create many more possibilities for what crypto could be? I think possibly. It's a new technology, and we'll have to see what people do with it. Speaking of not only crypto, but banking in general, looks like Robinhood is rolling out Robinhood Banking. So this is the checkbook that they ended up sending out. You could see set up direct deposit to earn 3.75% APY and other perks. Okay. Down here, you can see, actually, that's harder to look at, but we might have to click into it anyway. That setting up direct deposit looks very similar to SoFi Plus. You set up, you get higher APYs, you get access to ATMs, you get domestic wires, you can get access to cash delivery at $3, not $5, by the way. $3, checkbook, debit cards, all sorts of different products. Now, what I also heard is that the debit card, although being at no fee, supposedly it's $15 without this, although it being at no fee, it's actually not available for the alpha users right now. We'll see. But that should be fun. It'll be cool to see how they can compete against SoFi. And I think that SoFi is going to ramp up and stay extremely competitive against Robinhood. I think you'll really start to see how SoFi competes in their field. I don't think it'll be super easy for Robinhood to come in and do what SoFi's doing. And if they can, then we have to readjust. I do not marry stocks. If Robinhood can just come in and steal every single one of SoFi's users and they just, kill the business, I'm not going to sit here defending dying on a losing hill. I'm here to choose whichever name is the winning name at the end of the day. And right now, it looks like both of them can be winners in the respective fields. Okay. SoFi, yes, they have an investing product, but it's not really, aimed at the same core user base that Robinhood has. And will this banking product be the core product that brings in the same user base that SoFi is looking for? I think this type of dark, gold, I think Robinhood could attract a very potentially masculine type audience. And SoFi, I honestly think there's so much money to be made, and a lot. You see it in the athletes that they sponsor and all these things. It's also very female friendly. I don't know if Robinhood has as large of a female audience as people would think. I think it's actually pretty small. I think SoFi's is quite large. But both audiences are huge. Another thing that I wanted to quickly talk about as well was how many people are here from whenever SoFi was $7 a share. I mean, here, was viewing the live streams whenever we were talking about SoFi in the $6-7 or $7 range, these types of things. Would love this. Me, bunch of people, 4, 5, 6, and 7, love it. Okay, the reason why I bring that up is because on the way up, SoFi, I've seen so many people, and you guys did too. If you watch the live streams constantly, at $4 said, hey, you know what? This thing's been opportunity cost. I've stuck with it long enough. This thing's never going to move. I'm abandoning ship. They did this at 7, 8, 9. And then once we got to 10, they said, hey, you know what? This is a range-bound name. Tell me if I'm wrong. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Once it got to 10, they said, hey, we know what happens whenever it hits 10. It's going to come right back down. So I'm going to sell here and I'm going to buy back whenever it hits 6 again. Like clockwork, this is what SoFi does. It did work until it didn't, right? These range-bound trading works until it doesn't. And then you don't end up getting in the 11, 12, 13, all the way up. And then you also saw a bunch of traders, 11, 12, 13. Wow, Tanner, this name is working, but I'm taking chips off the table now because 13, boy, oh boy, is this name extended now. I mean, it seems crazy now to think of SoFi at 13, think it was extended. The feeling back then was we are breaking new highs. This cannot stay this extended. 14, 15 very much felt like that. I saw names that I see constantly in the chat at 18 say they were pulling the plug. Like I'm getting out. It's been fun, but it's coming down. This is huge. Now at 28, I hear this constantly. Even once we hit 20s, 22, you saw a lot of people start to trim their positions, and that's fine. I'm not anti that. But it doesn't mean that the stock can't go higher. So whenever I do talk about, SoFi continuing to go higher, I can only relook at the business, try not to be anchored to the price that you're used to on this business, reevaluate the company that we're holding, okay? SoFi was slow to deliver products. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like we're there anymore. They're pushing out products very fast right now, okay? So was that a Technisys problem? Was that a high rate cut problem? Or was that a SoFi problem? Maybe it was the former, right? And if that's the case, we no longer are held back by the things that were holding SoFi back then. So as we push into what might be a crazy thought, $30, these sort of things, make sure, you don't go by me. I'm not talking about this. I'm saying take a look at SoFi and you tell me if they're growing at the same rate to deserve $30 as they did back whenever they were $20, right? Look, the price to sales, price to earnings, these sort of evaluations of the company, just basic pricing metrics are extended. But are they growing faster? Are they at higher margins? Are they talking about continuously holding up higher growth rates? So at what point, what's your payback ratio or payback time? If you invest now, how much of, compounding at 30+% rates will it take for you to, make back a good return? And I think probably quick if they keep accelerating this growth. And now this is the same thing because every stock is in a different phase, right? BM&R is at that phase where people are saying it's opportunity cost. ETH might end up, not doing well. And by the way, guys, we can stay here a while. So this is still early. But the fact that it's not working right now and people are coming to me and they're saying, hey, Tanner, I thought you said this was going to work. Like this is trash. Guys, it's been no time. Okay. The business started in July. Okay. Let alone where we are. Every single week we get an update from them and they are still pushing forward on Ethereum. Until they get to the full 5% and or they stop buying Ethereum, the strategy hasn't changed at all. Okay, nothing has changed. So keep reevaluating your stocks. But I also want to highlight, and this is a blanket statement, I'm not suggesting you do this or anything along these lines. Whenever it does go back to 50, 55, 60, think to yourself, is this a range-bound name or has things fundamentally changed and this breakout is worth it? Okay? Am I looking at the market net asset value that they're holding and now that's extending past the share price that we're currently at? So essentially saying that they hold more ETH than what people are actually pricing the company at. Is that worth a higher premium? To me, I would say yes. It's hard because money's involved and emotions run high and people think that they've, potentially ruined a large amount of their savings or something like this. If you are extremely emotional there and your position size is either way too big for BM&R or other names like this that are extremely speculative. You're looking for lottery tickets, and that can be a very scary game. People who are chasing, Beyond Meat and GoPro and all of these other names, if they go wrong and you've ruined months and months, multiple annual salaries worth of savings, that could be detrimental. So be careful with the amount of money that you put into those speculative names. Remember, like someone asked me, hey, Tanner, if you could invest in 3 names over the next 2 decades, what would you buy? I said, Google, Amazon, Nvidia. Actually, no, I didn't. I said, That's actually not true. I can bring up the thing. I said Nvidia, Shopify, Amazon. That's what I did. I was going to say, I don't feel comfortable with Google over 2 quarters without changing anything. But yeah. And then I'm just going to leak your DMs, AJ. I'm sorry. But he didn't say much. But he said, if you could only hold 3 stocks for the next decade, what would you hold? And then he said, wow, not SoFi. Eh? That sucks. But one, there's a lot of competition in banking. I don't know where they're going to be 2 decades from now. So I picked the most moaty of moaty companies that I could pick. Safe, huge names. These are multi-decade long locked up things in terms of this hypothetical investment, right? Why Amazon? Because they've got maybe one of the biggest moats that the world has ever seen. But so I feel very confident with a name like, SoFi, but I can also monitor it on a day-to-day basis. I can see what Robinhood's doing. I can see what, a new bank or whatever. Like, I have options to potentially take advantage and buy more while things are hot, and I can pull out. But I feel very secure with larger names. So all I'm saying is don't overinvest in the speculative names that you don't actually have real conviction in. If you're buying long-term, if you're not watching constantly, if you don't know what you're buying, buy larger, more secure names. Or buy indexes. Indexes are fine. If this year you are like the majority of funds and you're not outperforming the S&P 500, you probably should buy the S&P 500. Okay, let's see. Do you watch soccer? No. I don't watch any sports other than UFC, if you want to count that. Kevin says, good pep talk, coach. You know what to do with this. Do I? Is that SoFi? I think he's saying to buy SoFi with this $20. Absolutely, Kevin. Thank you. Is SoFi still speculative in your mind? It's not speculative, but 2 decades is 2 decades is such a long time. I can't even get my words out. Who were the biggest internet plays in 2005? Now invest confidently in, who was the winners in 2005 all the way to 2025. That's insanity. There's going to be a lot of change. But I also think Toby Lucky will still be running Shopify in 2045. Jensen might be running Nvidia in 2045. I mean, who knows? He'll definitely be running it for another 10, 15 years. But yeah. So all I'm saying is 2 decades out is a ridiculous amount of time. It's very hard for a bank to have a moat. They just have to constantly be working faster than their competitors. I hope that happens for SoFi, but I can't guarantee that. Jensen's too old in 2045? Yeah, but also no. Maybe. But if Warren Buffett's still trucking along, obviously he just stopped doing Berkshire. But Jensen's showing zero signs that he's slowing down cognitive decline. And I mean, he's as sharp as a tack. So he's definitely there for another 10, 15 years. So BM&R number 4? Yeah, I mean, BM&R would be one of the furthest ones from that list. Ethereum, maybe not. I mean, Ethereum might be there in 2 decades. But also, I think a lot of stuff is going to change in 2 decades. Anyway, billionaires age well. They do tend to age well, eh? Kathy sold 22,700 shares of SoFi. Gotta love that. Let's take a look at Ark Invest. Man, she loves to sell before a good quarter, eh? And you know what's so funny is it's going to pump on earnings. She's going to buy more because the quarter did really well. And she will have sold at a lower price and bought at a higher one. Mark my words. She does it every quarter. Sorry, where's the update here? I'm not seeing any update today. Not yet, at least. I got someone to do it for me, but they aren't as fast. Oh, okay. I'll believe you. I'll believe you. Kathy's not a good investor. Oh, well, like I said, I think her research is very valuable. I think all of the segments that she said would work has worked. The companies that she's picked to be the beneficiaries of those sectors working has been terrible. But still, you can, like, if you position yourself to be in the right sector but in the wrong names, you're still probably going to do well. 22K is not all her shares. It's not all. She has a ton. I think she has 1 point something million almost. I think, like, she's got a ton of shares of SoFi. Maybe a little less than that. Maybe it's like 400,000. But she's got a lot of shares. That is, I wish I could show you guys my cat right now. Man, he's a cutie. This quarter should put pressure on the S&P to let SoFi in. It could. It's just in ArkF, yeah. Any Chime news? Not that I saw. We can check that really quick, but I didn't see any Chime specific news. Yeah. Yeah, nothing from their end. No new products, only the Jason Momoa thing from yesterday. What do you think Circle's quarter is going to be like? Quarterly results from a name like Circle. Can we tip to see your cat? No. Well, I can lift him up, but I'm not going to show you him down there. Guy is distracted. Chill. Okay. You're right, though, Evan. I am distracted. D-Local, talking about payments in the Middle East, a blend of heritage and modern innovation. I'm also so excited about D-Local earnings. We'll see if they can turn a corner and really, like I'm not buying these names to find 20% gains. I'm buying names like D-Local and Chime for doubles. Potentially, that's going to be a low chance of happening. There's a chance that I could blow up those positions and I have to sell for lower. My conviction's not as high as my conviction in a name like SoFi, Nvidia, Shopify, things like this, where my confidence is sky high. But yeah. Tanner has ADHD is very true. Tanner, opinion on Mercado Libre. Love Melly. Big Melly fan. Mercado Pago's great. Mercado Libre's great. Credit products great. Logistics, all of it. I think they've learned from their US competitors. They're doing well. Coffee break. Someone put in a comment in my last live stream and said, I drink if you guys didn't realize, this is a different size cup from the other one I was drinking out of. But this is all the coffee I drink all day. About a large and a medium every day. I wouldn't say that's too crazy. And I drink it all day. Like, I'm still it's just cold coffee now. Maybe that's a bad take, but I don't mind it. And I don't make my coffee at home anymore. I'm too lazy. Have you done any DD on Uber? A little bit. Coffee clutch. But not enough. How much caffeine is that? I don't know. but it's probably like 2.5 coffees worth. I think McDonald's coffee has decently high caffeine, but it's not crazy. I drink 3 Red Bulls and 2 double shot espressos and a green tea every day. Are they sugar-free Red Bulls or just the original? Or are you a freak? You get into like the flavored ones? Like a watermelon Red Bull guy? Okay. SoFi always drops on earnings, doesn't it? Not necessarily, no. There has been some time in the past where they've ran up before earnings, and then actually earnings day is not that good. But that I could not care about. I really could not care about the price of SoFi in the short term. It's the long term, which now you guys are seeing the effects of that long-term purchasing, like just constantly trusting in that business. This stock will catch up. And before it was a lot of yeah. But now, I get many less hate messages about the price of SoFi stock. Celsius doesn't actually have 200 milligrams of caffeine per can in Canada. It's 140 in Canada. They had to come into Canada, they had to make their own special brew, which was interesting. Yes. Okay. We got the shout out to Evan in chat. One of the largest accounts on X. But in the Ark F fund, you can see Evan right there behind chat, but he tagged me in it. That's Evan right there. In the Ark F fund, selling 22,759 shares of SoFi. Alibaba was purchased, which I don't think is terrible, but I mean, you're selling SoFi for Alibaba, selling an American company to buy a Chinese name. I mean, it might be a good investment. Like, Chinese tech is so cheap. It honestly, like, politics aside, if she knows something I don't, they are so unbelievably cheap. But it's the politics, the what Trump might do in terms of delisting American names or whatever that stops me from investing. Putting in large tariffs, anything like this. That's what's stopping me. JD's another really cheap one. There's so many. There's a lot of really cheap Chinese tech names. She sold Shopify too. Sickening. She sold the same. She essentially just rotated SoFi and Shopify and put it into Alibaba. I don't know how much. That's like an anti-Tanner trade. I've been talking about how much I wouldn't touch, Chinese stock names, not because I'm anti their product, but just because I'm worried about what levers Trump could push or pull on that trade. She almost entirely just trimmed my 2 favorite names and then put it into Alibaba, a name that I won't touch. We'll see who's right. I used to think, like whenever I was a, younger investor, I'd be like, oh, well, she probably knows something that I don't. Now I'm like, she's, she doesn't know anything I don't know. Good for her. But Neo used to be a name that I was purchasing. Like, I was really into EVs and everything, but then I was anti the Chinese trade. Can we talk about new stock? I mean, there's not much new to talk about. The stock price did very well. But I'm not touching or selling it or anything. We just continue to hold. Right? Eventually, they'll end up coming to America. They'll end up getting a bank charter. They'll end up expanding across the world. This will be very much like a Revolut type play, but with deeper integrations, not as many countries, but deep integrations, especially in North America. They're an exciting name. I don't really think there's a thing like, I think AI company is a weird term. Nvidia is an AI company, you know, Google's an AI company, Amazon's an AI company. Eventually, SoFi is going to be an AI company. Like, every company is going to be the same way that they had to integrate with the internet, will be benefiting from artificial intelligence. So, am I buying into AI names? Like, yeah, my largest name in my entire portfolio is an AI name. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Palantir's a AI name for sure, right? New will battle with Chime for customers. It's definitely a possibility. It is, but I don't think I'll be in Chime as long term as people think. It's definitely a trade for me. It's just really cheap right now, and I can't let it stay that cheap and not pull the trigger. It's like old Tanner coming out. I can't ignore a good deal. But we'll see. SoFi Stadium's on prime time. Nice. That's where the Chargers play, right? So home field advantage, Evan. Good luck to you, brother. Okay. Am I Jewish? No. I have my dad was kind of just like a mutt. A lot of like that, I don't know, English, Scottish, all over that sort of area. But a long time ago. I mean, like, his dad was born in Canada, everything like this. So he's been here for a long time. And then my mom, born in Canada as well, but Dutch background. Both Dutch parents. Polish? No, not Polish. Thoughts on C Limited and their expansion in LATAM? What do you mean their expansion in LATAM? Didn't they try to expand in LATAM and then they backed off because Mercado Libre and Nubank spanked them back home? Or are they trying again? Buy CCL Princess cruise ship. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. I will. I'll buy CCL with that. Funnily enough, I'm actually a Polish Jew. Cool. That's awesome. That was good luck. No, Dutch. That's crazy. If Dutch, then why no ASML? I don't know, dude. I was a big investor in Adyen. I mean, that's a Dutch company, but I don't really think that that's what makes my investing strategy is like, oh, you know, support the motherland or whatever. Like, I just, you know, I look for good companies. I buy those. I'm not anti ASML. ASML was in my stock draft, you know, but I'm just, maybe I'll get around to some ASML. I'm not anti ASML. I mean, I picked them to win in my stock draft. ASML has a higher moat than Nvidia. Well, I mean, then they should have a higher, you know, market cap, higher revenue, higher growth rates, higher margins, but they don't. Okay, C Limited is gaining market share in LATAM. All right, I'm definitely not anti C Limited. They've done amazingly. Like they're killing it. I just was making a comment about LATAM specifically, but C is awesome. You gotta try Dutch Bros, dude. If you're a Dutch bro, you gotta try Dutch Bros. I've never. I don't even know where Dutch Bros is. They're not here. You know what's not a thing in Canada? I know that this is popular in certain areas. My understanding that Dutch Bros does this as well. These soda restaurants where they sell. I know that Dutch Bros does coffee as well, but I think they also do those like sodas with the syrups and everything. That's not a thing here. Where is that a thing? I heard that's like Utah and other like really Mormon areas because they can't drink and stuff. Is that true? Where is it popular to have these like soda restaurants? No, not fountain drinks. No. They make like specialty coffees, like with like they'll put things like lemons in it and stuff, and like I don't know, cinnamon, like I don't know what goes on, sugar tops, and does like salts the rim, and they'll add like vanilla pumps, and it's like a restaurant for sodas. All over Utah. Is it really only located in Utah? Maybe it's caffeine free. I didn't know that they can't have caffeine. But doesn't soda have caffeine? Doesn't soda have a ton of caffeine? But Dutch Bros has it though, don't they? I was looking because I was doing just the tiniest bit of DD, and I'm pretty sure Dutch Bros has like those types of what are they called? Like dirty sodas or something? Yeah, like look at this. The first thing that I just saw whenever I opened up their website. Trick or Treat Rebel, unicorn blood energy drink with trick or treat gummies. What? That's a soda. So I think they have like where is it? Sparkling sodas, iced teas, and they like make them all fancy and stuff. They've got like special pomegranate and strawberry. Like these are juices. This is juice. That's not a thing here at all. Is that not a thing? It sounds like most of the comments don't even know what I'm talking about. Swig. Yeah. Bubble tea is here for sure. I know bubble tea. I can get down with some bubble tea. I don't really know. I'm not I'm neither one. I think we call it pop. We call it soda. I don't know. It's like pop is definitely a thing. But I do not have pop ever. Ever. Okay. Let's get back to it. So, I showed you this already, at least for one creator. The Stocko put this together nicely. The Q3 earnings predictions are in. Kyle the Stockgoat thinks Q3 revenue, 960 million, 970,000 new members, and 11 cents of EPS. My prediction was 960,000 or 959 million, almost the exact same as Kyle. And I didn't see his prediction at the time. But yeah, we were right on the ball there. A little bit more EPS and more member growth, but we'll see. Tevis, the highest amount of revenue, lowest amount of members, and low EPS. Couch Investor, the lowest on revenue, not the lowest on members, but the lowest on EPS. And then Chris Hager, data-driven investing, revenue 950 million, 990,000, or over 1 million if you include the non-churned, okay, and 11 cents of EPS. They could definitely be right on the 11 cents of EPS. I might have gone a little strong, but yeah. Well, I love YouTube, but I also love that I can watch on Twitch now. Scarf, thank you so much, man. And if you're a Prime sub, you can subscribe for free on Twitch. They have something like if you have Amazon Prime that you can sub to one person each month. So if you don't really use Amazon all that much, sub to Future Investing. You don't have to give me your money. You can give me Amazon's money. But might affect the margins by, $2.50 or whatever it is. So yeah, none of us are bold enough to say $1 billion in revenue. None of us, other than data-driven investing, said 1 million new members. And I was the only one bold enough to say 12 cents of EPS. We'll see, baby. We will see. How are you dual streaming? Because I just got it like that. I'm multitasking. I'm multifaceted. Yeah, or I just select Twitch and YouTube before I hit go. I say 1 billion. Yeah, there was a good mix of people saying, hey, you guys are insane. These are way too bullish. And then another mix of like, hey, there's going to be $1 billion in revenue, 1 million new members, and 12 cents of EPS. Some people said 13 cents. We'll see. Yeah. Can StreamYard stream to X? I can, but it messes up the whole thing. So whenever someone clicks on X, it counts as a user, but then whenever they click away, it doesn't take away their count. So X will say like, 40,000 people are watching, but 40,000 people are not watching. Like the chat is always, if you ever watch those live streams on X, they're always dead. Like no one's in them. So I think it just completely messes with the metrics. I don't care to stream on X. And I apologize if that's your favorite place to watch content, but that's probably not even true. Yeah, Fisher, I honestly think that maybe we're pushing, or Pisher, that maybe we're pushing expectations a little high. This happened one quarter, maybe a few quarters ago. Like I want to say like Q4 of 2024, where we were honestly all very, very close to where SoFi actually was. And so it didn't beat our own expectations. So people were not like super excited at all. But it still beat Wall Street's expectations. We're just getting better at understanding like where SoFi is going to be. Right? That's I guess sort of the difference there. But yeah. So okay. We talked about did we talk about Lending Club yet? I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but still, I wanted to highlight some of the comments that they had made. Credit performance remaining high. Delinquency and charge-off metrics are in line or better than our expectations. We're continuing to see strong performance across all vintages. Let's see what else. This is, by the way, such a good sign for SoFi. As we look ahead, the business enters the fourth quarter with significant momentum. Loan investor demand, okay, meaning like the loan platform business for SoFi, remains strong, and loan sale pricing continues to trend higher. Loan sale pricing continues to trend higher. That's bullish. They said fair value prices are up. Demand from borrowers is up. Demand from banks is up. Demand from insurance agencies is up. And the pricing for those insurance agencies to buy loans from them, because this is going to be a big purchaser of loans for SoFi as well. Insurance agencies have huge trillion-dollar plus pools of capital, trillions and trillions. But they can't go out and give out loans as easily. They get it through insurance premiums and stuff. But they want the products that SoFi has to offer, but they can't write them. So they have to buy them afterwards. So they're saying insurance agencies' demand is way up, and the demand is really picking up, and the price on those insurance agencies is almost as high as what they can charge to the banks, which is also why their net interest margin expanded. Not bad. They also said that although there's some companies that are showing auto loan delinquencies rising, they're not seeing any of that in personal loans. Like, it could not be more bullish for SoFi. Wow. And they had a 50-50% split on their loan platform business and who was buying their loans of new buyers versus repeat buyers. 50-50 split. If it's a 50-50 split again for SoFi, we are like, it's going to be insane. Insane. Gold's pumping right now. I'm gonna have to take my shirt off to get Dookie Pie back in this chat. No, she's probably watching. She's just not maybe typing as much these days. Who knows? You never know what people are up to. Do you have any thoughts on the recent Wealthsimple event? Yes. Wealthsimple's awesome. It would be a lot harder for me to switch away from Wealthsimple to Robinhood or something like this, and knowing the types of products that they're putting out. So, they just added absolutely free commission trading for options, all this type of stuff. So, for some of their higher end consumers that have more assets under management, they're adding more types of advisors, tax specialists, all these types of things. Looking really good. So, liking what Wealthsimple is doing. ETF, I said chargers. Yeah. Do Twitch subs get members only access? I got to figure out how to do that. But if you know more about Twitch, like if I could upload videos and put them for subs only or something like that. I don't know if you can upload videos to Twitch at all. Like, I know there's VODs, but I don't know if you can upload videos. But I would love to be able to give you guys the member only access, because I don't want it to be any different on YouTube and Twitch. And I think that's why people create Patreons, is like somewhere else where like if you have people on X or whatever, like it's all one place where you can upload your content. But also I find I just don't want to disconnect from the platforms and have people go to a different website to consume my content. I just want to be where you guys want to be. So I've never really wanted to go to those platforms, but I also don't know how, someone on Twitch gets the same benefits as someone on X. That's hard. But yeah. Tanner, do you ever do DGen calls? No. Members only is like whenever if you're subscribed, you hit the join button. We do a weekly show where people see me and a bunch of other content creators talking about stocks and other things. But just for a little longer, just to add to I would not say it's worth $5 a month to get 4 extra videos with me and a couple other creators. For the people who are supporting the channel, it's just any little bit that I could give back. It's not worth $5. I mean, you can get like a decent way through an Amazon Prime or a Netflix subscription with $5 a month. If you don't have Amazon Prime, pay for Amazon Prime before you give me $5. It's worth more. I mean, I'll appreciate it more, but it's definitely not worth your money. But yeah. It's 100% worth it. It's sensational. Do you do sales for a living? You must. Must do sales. Might be possible based on a quick Google search. Okay, Chappis. Message me on Discord or something if you are on Twitch more often, because I do want to build on that platform a little bit more. And I know nothing about it. I wonder what happened to Tanner drink water. I'll drink some water. No sell, yes, rotate. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate that. I guess the hey guys, don't give me money comments didn't make it to you before you had bought that. Costco or Amazon Prime versus Costco membership. That's a hard one. I would have to say, depends how it's the proximity of how close Costco is to your house. Okay. If you can go there often, it's definitely worth it. Amazon Prime's hard to beat. Maybe Amazon Prime. But Costco is, whew, that's a good one. Okay. Oh my God, Chappis is just Chappy? Oh, brother, what's up, man? I know Chappy. Okay, let's see. Whatever happened to Franklin? He's still shorting SoFi at $4 or whatever the heck he was doing before. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get going. I want to create good content for you guys. I also want to try to do a podcast on weekends, try to get an interview going at least once a week. I'd like to do twice a week, try to get some really like obviously I'll have other content creators and those types of people, but the people I'm really after is CEOs, other Wall Street analysts, these types of things. If I can get a good stream of these type of people to be on the platform, I'd love to deliver some content to you guys over the weekends. We have been on such a freaking roll, and maybe it's just the market is hot right now, but I just got to tell you guys, this community is insane. I love all you guys. This is so surreal what I'm doing. But then again, you know, I do see from time to time some updates and things that you guys are doing, and it's cool to know that I can put my work to something that is like truly meaningful, and sometimes it can change people's lives. Not stock picks or something like this, but realizing that long-term investing and fundamental and qualitative investing really does work. And this is not a gamble. It's like a lifestyle change. And once that clicks in your head, and it's not about finding that lottery ticket, it's about finding a 10x business that you can just hold on to for hopefully decades. That strength, that mindset, I think sticks with you not only in stock market investing, but through many facets of your life. I think about this long-term investing type strategies. Maybe this is a little bit of a form of autism, but through my relationships with my girlfriend, with family, in my health, and working out and trying to run or walk at least once a day, all of these types of things, because that continuous working on the foundation on the way up, no gambling, these types of things, I think are just great health strategies. In financial health, physical health, mental, all of these things. You have autism for real? No, I don't think so. No. Well, I don't know. I think it more, I'm actually just using the term autism to replace the word quirk. I think they're just my quirks. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. Bye for now.